Hello and welcome. My name is Kurt Underwood. I'm the Chief Range Safety Officer for the Dr. James E. Moore Jr. Camp Robinson Firing Range with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Today we're going to be covering how to mount a scope. We have selected our rifle, scope base, and rings. Now it's time to mount it. So let's get right to it. For this rifle series, we're going to be using a Bergara special purpose rifle chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor with a Burra scope and Picatinny scope base and rings. As always, we'll start with the rules of firearm safety. Always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. This is the primary rule of gun safety. Always keep your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot. And lastly, always keep the gun unloaded until ready to use. So the first step is to ensure that there is no loaded ammunition in the work area. Next, we ensure the rifle is unloaded, both with a visual check and a manual check. You'll need the following tools: level, Allen keys or set, a torque wrench that is capable of 10 to 50 inch-pounds, thread locker, and lastly, you'll need to put the rifle in a bench vise or rifle holder of some type. If the rifle scope base is not mounted like this one, take them out and place it on the rifle. You will then need the screws provided. If the screws were not included, the typical screws are a 6x48 or 8x48 screw. You can find these at most local hardware stores. Next is to apply your thread locker. There is a difference with thread locker between blue and red. With this particular brand, the blue is removable, red is a high strength. We highly recommend that you use the blue thread locker. Screw in the screws. The normal torque is 10 to 15 inch-pounds depending on your scope's manufacturer. Next, place your scope rings on the base. Do not tighten, as we will check our eye relief beforehand. Place the scope on the rings. Now we will check the eye relief. This is the measurement from the rear of the scope to your eye. Make sure the eye relief is correct to you for this particular rifle. Too far forward or backward, and you will see scope shadow. That is the black shadow around the edge of the circle. Once you have the eye relief set, now we level the scope to the rifle. Now that we have the scope level to the rifle, apply the top rings and add the screws with thread locker. Refer to your scope ring manual for the proper torque settings. The number of screws your scope ring has dictates the torque pattern you need to use. If you have 4 screws, make sure you use a crisscross pattern. If you have 6 screws, start with the inside screws first, then use a crisscross pattern on the outside screws. Now check the scope is properly mounted to you. Remember that each rifle scope combination is custom tailored to you. Your shooting partner's rifle might not work perfectly for you. Now you're set up to bore sight the rifle. Stay tuned for that video coming up. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep shooting.